I'm in the St. Louis area. Got a mess in the garage. I'm sorry about that, but it has been snowing. It's not bad right now, but it snowed last night, so it's a little chilly in the garage. So this is where I'm starting at. Had this for about almost 3 months now. This is a '69 Beetle. It was originally an auto stick car. So that is why I've got the hole cut as an access panel. And I've got to put another one back here behind the emergency brake. And also got to do the Napoleon hat and the frame head bottom plate. And I'm going to do this the smart thing this time, because last time I did the frame head bottom plate, I cut and ground and got it all prepped and ready and welded the new one on. And about a week or so later realized that I could not blow air through the fuel line. So if you know that the fuel line actually it goes straight down and then makes this little loop up and then comes out the top of the frame head there. So having the frame head bottom plate and be able to look directly into that frame head is really nice. So while I've got the openings and the frame head bottom plate off, I'm going to do the fuel line, the clutch tube, and all of my cabling, spray rust reformer down it. I am going to do the fuel line in stainless steel. I'll get it all painted up. I've got a new beam that's a 2-inch narrow beam. I've got all new seals, new ball joints for the torsion arms. Just redid all of the backing plates, wire wheeled those, and the drums. Those are drop spindles, but they come raw, and they rust up really fast if you don't do something to them, so they're painted. Pitman arms painted. I've got a bunch of the cabling, and actually bought these from Air Cooled. I love Air Cooled stuff, but that is for your brake hoses that go on weld to the frame head bottom plate, because on the late model versions those tabs do not come on them. They expect you to cut the original ones off and put them back on, and mine are not in the greatest condition, and really spending that amount of time on something so little when these were like 20 bucks is kind of pointless, I think. So the urethane IRS bushings and everything. This box is just all of the new German seals. The little bag, the V-Wib or whatever it says, is the little grommets that go on the back of the backing plates. Brake hardware, new brake pads, all that stuff. So I've got another box of all of the wheel bearings and all that stuff. These are the rear cross members. Those have to be done because it's pretty rough. This rear cross member section, try to keep the camera as not shaking as much as I possibly can. So this section here, and you can see the other section's pretty bad. Up on the on the package tray there on the wheel wells is pretty rough as well. And I've got sections for it. They look like this. So that goes up onto the luggage tray area, or down on the luggage tray area up on the wheel well there. I do have 2 of the inner fender wells, and then the rear body mount section, because the rear body mount section is pretty rough, as you can see there. So I went ahead and painted the engine compartment with I think that's truck bed liner or whatever, just because I'll get in a big ass hurry and drop that body back on, and it'll be something that I'll pass on or not do. So I do got to do the headliner. The original, or the last owner, tore it up pretty bad. Otherwise I just would have kept it. Door cards are good. I'm going to keep the or replace the dash pad. But for the most part, I'm not painting it. I am going to buff it out. I'm leaving the little rust spots and all that stuff. It's going to be a patina ride. I want it to be mainly as original as possible. with the exception that it's going to be dropped and it'll be a lowered bug, but I do want it to be, you know, like an old school style look, 70s, what would be in the 70s, you know, so like either Sprint Stars or 914 styles, or, you know, steel wheels. Original steering wheel that I've epoxied and tried to fix. But yeah, I'm not going to go with a huge motor or anything either. There's my heater channels. Those are the Danzig ones from CIP1. Those are the heavy ones. A little more expensive, but I think they're well worth it because they are definitely heavier than the last ones I put in. So on the body, it's just the heater channels, that package area, those cross members that I showed you, and a couple little patches here and there, the rear body mounts. Engine, I'll probably do a smaller 1641 or 1776, probably 1776, and then full flow it. And there's a bunch of full flow stuff. The original German gaskets. I've got the bolt-on aluminum covers, and you know, the empty style shifter and all that, breather, just a bunch of miscellaneous crap. I do want to keep, you know, a lot of the metal and things like that. I'm going to section out and cut out just what I need. I don't want this to end up being a Chinese Volkswagen or, you know, all Denmark metal or whatever in the end. The objective is to keep it as much intact and as much of the original bug as possible. You know, get the pan all squared away and painted and primed, and new gaskets and seals, and get it rolling and moving like brand new, so that when I actually get to driving it, I don't have to worry about, you know, seals going out or wheel cylinders and stuff like that. That'll all be brand new. It'll just look like an older, beat up patina ride, which is awesome. I dig that. So yeah, for the most part, it's gonna stay just kind of the way it looked originally, and I can put a picture up. I'll insert a picture here when I brought it, after I brought it home and got down with goof off, got down to the original paint, because it was primered in this nasty orangey red color. Quite a thick layer of primering over it, but yeah, it's going to stay that red color with its patina, but it's going to be lowered. I figured this was the perfect time to start doing the YouTube thing, because I'm going to tackle some projects that I have not seen, specifically, you know, with the pan, and actually having to run a clutch tube and weld that all in. And again, while I'm in there, I'm going to do all these things in. So, you know, I am not somebody you should be following through as being fact. I'm just going to show you that this is my fourth one I've done, and I've had some pretty good successes of doing floor pans and heater channels and all that stuff. But I've also had to learn some things the hard way too. I don't know if you can see, but inside the inside here is a brace that runs across right here, and it's got like a little hook that comes up, and that's where the clutch tube sits, and that's where it's welded in first there, and then again, like I was saying earlier, behind the emergency brake is another one. And so it'll be a task. Getting that clutch tube in is a battle. I've only done one clutch tube before, and it was not fun. Not real hard, but it definitely can put a hurting on you. It's kind of a banana shaped almost. So to get that curvature in there and to get it going down the right path can be tough. Especially as I did it last just by myself. And I probably won't do it. I'll probably employ the wife for 20 minutes, half hour, or whatever, while I'm trying to get it in place to try to help me. So the interesting part will be, I've always had to do the Napoleon hat without pans on it. And these are the original pans. And I don't know how it is the original pans, considering how much rust and everything's through. It is pretty heavily undercoated underneath, so maybe that's why. But so originally, when this goes, so you drill your holes or pop your holes in across here, and both sides of this weld to the frame head bottom plate. Well, then once that's ground down, say, well, this would actually be flipped, my bad. So once those are all plug welded, you grind them down so it's nice and flush, and then your floor pan sits on top of it and you plug weld to it. Well, I've got it cut on both sides where the weld from the floor pan to the Napoleon hat is. But the interesting thing is that what I'm gonna have to do is I'm probably gonna have to section out part of this pan. Well, I've got to fix a hole that's over on this side, so that's got to get cut out anyway. But on this side, I'm gonna have to section out a piece of it and either replace it or patch it back in, because it's going to be in the way of me not only just getting it in there, but getting it welded in place solid to the frame bottom plate while the floor pan's still there. So that is going to be an interesting battle. That's going to be the experimentation of how this is all going to work, and we'll learn that one together. Like I said, I've done the frame head bottom plate, I've done the Napoleon hat, but this is kind of a new task of doing them both together and still having pans on, because these pans are solid all the way through with the exception of one little hole over on this side, which I'm just going to cut out. There's a small replacement panel, it's like $40 or $45, and I'll just cut out the piece that I need, put it in, and be done. But I think about where I've got that sitting now, just marking it off and just cutting those sections out and getting them out of the way for now is probably the smartest bet. But we'll have to see. I'll try to get the next video up here within the next week or two, and hopefully at that point it'll be as it's progressing and you guys get to see kind of what I'm doing. I'm not going to do a step-by-step, but I'll try to film as much as I can, kind of show you what's happening, and we'll go from there. So first one, just wanted to say hi, BW618. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, and that way you'll see the next ones when I post it. Take care. I busted my ass on the heater channels.